Hello, and welcome. Today, I will be making cupcakes. We're making Reese's peanut butter cupcakes. As you see, my two co-hosts are not here. One of them is sick, one of them is working. And so we're gonna call this little segment Baking with Lynn. First, we know Lynn loves to do a fit check. So, shorts from Pythia, brand new, just got them. T-shirt from Ransom, one of my favorites that I've ever gotten. Love, 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 love this t-shirt. I was gonna wear my new Ransom shorts, but there's gonna be a lot of flour and stuff, so I didn't want to get like flour all over them because they're black. So first things first is I'm gonna get the station all ready. There we go. Now that we have all of our utensils and everything we're going to need for this, I never bake with my hair down, so I'll be right back. It's not the proper one still. This is the only one I could find for like dry measuring, but that's okay because I don't care. I'll just use this. Y'all can judge me later. That's okay. I feel like I'm a little crowded over here, but it's okay because everything will go. Now we're ready to roll. First thing that we're going to do is get our recipe. You'll need two little bowls like this that are going to be separate. And what you're going to do firstly is you're going to get out 3 eggs. It is like so bright right here. I wish I could like not have that light on the side of my face. And we're going to, well, first thing you should do is wash your hands. I've already done that, but always wash your hands. And we're going to separate the egg yolks from the egg whites. Put the egg yolks in this one, egg whites in this one. And we're going to do all 3 egg whites in this. And then the third egg yolk goes elsewhere because we don't need it. We don't need the third egg yolk. So this calls for, well, I call for, I'm gonna wash my hands, wash the eggs off my hands. Okay, and the reason why we separate the egg yolks and the egg whites is because the egg whites are gonna go right in here first. You need one of these. It could either be rounded or it could be one like this. This is gonna be your best friend this whole time. So you want to make sure you get all those egg whites. This is gonna be what signifies the difference between other people's cupcakes and my cupcakes. The ingredients that you're going to need for this are 2 eggs plus a third egg yolk, buttermilk, vegetable oil, baking powder, baking soda, vanilla, brown sugar, granulated sugar, and all-purpose flour. You use cake flour, it's all right. It doesn't matter. I find that all-purpose flour works perfectly fine. So what we're going to do here, we have our egg whites in here, and we're going to do about, so this is a quarter cup. This is quarter cup. We're just going to do about a little less than, I would say we're going to do like an 1/8. Right in there with the egg whites. Whisk attachment. So this recipe specifically, I mean, it does help if you have a stand mixer because otherwise you're going to be mixing it by hand and it's really going to, your arm's going to be killing you afterwards. But we're going to mix this on high until you get stiff peaks, which I'll show you what stiff peaks mean. Usually takes like 3 to 4, maybe even 5 minutes. So I just realized my mic was off that whole time. So usually, what am I going through? The recipes that I found at first only had the egg, like whipped egg whites for the amount of eggs that was actually in the thing. And then one time I was like, well, what if I put an extra one? It's just gonna be extra fluffy. And then that perfected my cupcake recipe. So I'm gonna put this in the fridge and I'm gonna wash this and I'll be right back. And also wash this. Also preheat your oven to 370. I forgot to do that. Just 370. You're you're gonna want to dry this out because the first thing we're gonna be putting in here is like the flour, all the dry ingredients we're gonna be putting in here first. So, which some people would be like, oh, make the frosting first. I'm like, yeah, probably, but we're not gonna do that. I always make it once the cupcakes are in there, and also because the butter needs to get to room temperature. So you're gonna want the paddle attachment. Yeah. So for the flour, we need 3/4 cup, which we can just do 3 of these, of all-purpose flour. Leveled, of course. I don't have a sifter. Otherwise, I'd be sifting it, but I mean, they come out just fine anyway. Leveled. 2. 1 more. Then for sugar, we need. Oh, I forgot cocoa powder. Forgot we were making chocolate cupcakes. So we're making, oh my word, I am not doing well. We're making Reese's peanut butter cupcakes. However, I couldn't find the Reese's peanut, so I'm using half cup of cocoa powder, which is 2 of these. A little more is okay with this because the people that I'm making these for really like chocolatey cupcakes. So I do quite a bit of chocolate in there. Lots of chocolate, even though I'm not a big chocolate person, but I do make some pretty busted chocolate. Chocolate. Whatever. And we're gonna do a half cup of regular granulated sugar. Again, would be sifted, but I don't have a sifter, so we're just gonna do this. 2. And you know what? Baking is just like a yes, you have your like measurements you gotta do in order for shit to come out right. But baking, you could do it in any format that you want. You can literally just like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're all having fun here. That's what we're here for. Next for dry ingredients, we have baking powder. Big difference between this one and this one. Baking powder and baking soda. This one's called floof powder because it makes things puff up. We're gonna do 3 of these. 1. 2. 3. And we're gonna do 2 of these of the baking powder. And brown sugar. We're gonna do half cup of brown sugar. I opened it up and it was like all hardened. So we're gonna do 2 of these of brown sugar. We're gonna mix this, but before we mix this, we're gonna get our wet ingredients together. So we have our 2 eggs. You're wondering what goes in with the eggs. Well, I'm glad you asked. Olive oil. And we're going to do, our vegetable oil. And we're gonna do, so half cup of vegetable oil. Most recipes will only call for like a third of a cup, but mine is half. It's buttermilk and it'll settle. This is my favorite brand of buttermilk, but you can use really any. So we're gonna do half cup of this, and that guy is gonna go right into here. I forgot the salt. 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. That's it. That's it. Don't put any more. Don't put any more. And then so you see how it looks a little silly. We've got the eggs, we've got the vegetable. Well, you got to mix them up. You got to mix them up. Can't be afraid. Just eggs. It's just vegetable oil. It looks gross when they're mixed together, but that's okay because it mixes in the cake better, and it's less that you have to overwork the flour. You don't want to overwork the flour when you're mixing it because then it makes it dense and it makes the gluten in the flour grab on to the liquid. So you want it to look like it's almost like scrambled eggs. You wouldn't want to eat these. You don't want this much vegetable oil mixed in with your scrambled eggs. Vanilla, 2 teaspoons of vanilla. So I'm just gonna do a whoop. Sounds good. So I'd have to do this 8 times. It's either that or, okay, you could do what I just did, the whoop, that works, or you can do this 4 times, the little 1/4 teaspoon. So we're gonna put all this other stuff away because now we've got our vanilla in with our buttermilk, our vegetable in with our eggs, and now we're ready to mix this. So I'm gonna turn this on. I'm gonna put this stuff away and out of our way, and I'll be right back. And you want this on a low, like I usually mix it low, like on like a 2. You don't have to. But as I said, it's less mixing that the flour has to do. Gonna stick to it. Get it down from the sides, make sure it's all really mixed in together. Like I still see, come here. How you still see some like flour and stuff in there. We have to mix this a little bit more, but what I'm doing is scraping it off, just off the sides. Okay. So we're gonna put this back on 1. I just have the Drew Barrymore. I think it's just the Barrymore. The Beautiful by Drew Barrymore. I don't know. It's just like a one from Walmart. Okay. Now this is ready. You can add it when it's on, but because the eggs will splatter, stay. I always tell everybody too, I'm like, don't be afraid of like, you get egg on you. Don't be afraid if you get icky when you're cooking because it'll all wash off. Like you can chill for a second. It'll all wash off. Be talking here. Very low speed. I'm actually softening the butter in the microwave because it's taken too damn long. I got it at the store today. I meant to buy it yesterday so I could have it out. It's chill. I just saw a spider. I'm not cool. I'm actually not cool. We are saved. My mom's boyfriend took care of it. Scott the goat because it was literally like this big. I would have shown you, but I was too scared to even like fucking move. I was literally like damn near gave me a fucking heart attack. I swear to God, buddy. And so now that we've had a mental breakdown, let's add the buttermilk and vanilla. And then I put it up to a 2. I'm gonna go wash these. Remember, you don't want to overwork your flour. So as I'm washing these, I'm gonna put them back. I'm gonna put it back on a 1. You can't fucking see it. Like this. Kind of scrape the sides again because it does get stuck to the sides even if you dry out the. Okay. So you're gonna scrape this off out here actually because this has got some brown sugar on low. You want your butter softened, not melted. This is the key for the frosting we're gonna make. Softened, not melted. All right. This is perfect. Perfect. And there's no eggs in here yet, so just kidding. There is. I lied. But I don't care. I'm not. I think I'm scared of a little salmonella. I'm not. And you always gotta taste your batter because if your batter don't taste right, people ain't gonna be happy. All right, egg whites. Gonna take a see how they're like light and fluffy. You're gonna do only a spoonful at a time. You want to fold them. Let me see if I can do this. You want to fold them in. Fold it in. Because you don't want to like stir because then it breaks down all the egg whites. So you want the egg whites to just be incorporated. But just barely. You know what I'm saying? All right. So you're going to do this with the rest of the stuff, with the rest of the egg whites, and I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. Like a lot of risk. Oh. Well, folks. Slightly melted the other 3. So, it's okay. It's only half of them that's melted. Like a fruit fly, get out of here. You don't want to stir because when you stir, it'll overwork the flour and 2, it'll overwork the egg, so the whipping them was just a waste. Scrape the sides, and then fold. But see how it went from being like dense to being nice and like fluffy? That's what you want. That's what you want. So let's get our cupcake pans ready. You need liners, and I have a very different array of liners. So we are gonna do green, I think. We're gonna do green cupcake liners. You're gonna line all of them. This may make enough for all of these 24 cupcakes. But sometimes it doesn't because I usually like to do bigger cupcakes as well. Okay. All of them have cupcake liners in. I take Pam just very lightly, considering I'm missing. Just spritz them all. Just because it helps. No, we're good. We're good. It just helps the cupcakes come out of the liners at the end. Okay, so I like to use one of these guys. I use one of these guys and this guy. Okay. I do a scoop, swoop, and then clean up. Remember that. A scoop, a swoop, a clean up. Okay, so it's like level with this. We're just gonna usually halfway is perfect. Yep, that ends up being completely halfway. Now, if you have an ice cream scoop that you like to use, if you have any other sort of spoon featured thing, that's fine. I like this spoon because it ends up being exactly halfway up the cupcake liners. And that's what you want because you don't want them to be overfilled because they have the chance to cave in. And if they cave in, because what are you going to do with a caved in cupcake? I mean, you could fill it with frosting, but then you're like, it's not about the cupcake, then it's about the frosting. Okay. So we're going to fill these and I'll be right back. I always say I'll be right back, but it's like I'm still here and I know I'm just going to do a fast forwarded version of what I'm doing, but time lapse starting now. All right, let's not be fucking stupid in this. All right, so we almost got 24. We were missing 3. But the main thing when you don't have a full baking sheet, this fucking fruit fly, I'm literally gonna lose my mind. I'm legit gonna lose it. There's one fruit fly that keeps flying around, and it's really bothering me. But anyways, you want to make sure that you get most of like around the edges because that way it doesn't make the end like I don't know. I can't remember where I learned that, but it makes it so that way that like it doesn't burn because it'll focus with the heat on like one spot. If like say I only put them in the middle, but it's okay because we've got 21 cupcakes. So also what I do when I'm making cupcakes is I put another pan underneath these because I don't like the bottoms of them to get too hot. So I put it on the very bottom. Y'all can't see that. But I put it on the bottom and then I'm going to put these guys in like this. For about 15 minutes and then I check them. But usually 15 minutes is like good. And we use this time to clean our bowl and we're going to start our frosting now. I have to clear out a spot in the fridge because when your cupcakes are done, you want to transfer them to something else, which I usually put them on a wooden cutting board and then you want them to go into the fridge. You know what I'm saying? You want them to, oh my God. The reason why you want them to go into the fridge or into the freezer, whichever you have space for, is because like because if you take them out of the, like, you know the saying, like, it'll finish cooking like once you take it out of the oven. Well, if you put them into the fridge and it stops the cooking process, so it keeps the moisture, keeps the whatever temperature you took it out at, like, it makes it stop cooking. So it doesn't become overdone. Okay, so I gotta take out some stuff in my fridge, which thankfully I didn't have too much stuff in the fridge. So now I'm going to, and we're gonna make our frosting. We have to make two different kinds of frosting because we're doing two different kinds of chocolate cupcakes. One kind of chocolate cupcake is just going to be regular chocolate with chocolate frosting. Then the other one is going to be a Reese's peanut butter cup frosting. So we're going to make the chocolate frosting first, and then we're going to make the peanut butter frosting. Just because I know there's people at work that don't like peanut butter. What y'all know about Sam's new song? Lane switch. Your girl wanna get in, like, why you hating? I need constant, I got enemies up top and I got enemies below. People faking, people foe, gotta watch behind you, know. Because everything that's up eventually be six below. Tryna get in my way, I live this life all on my own. Top behind my back and get your ass back through the back door. Also, be real, guys. Does this fit give like dad vibes? Like, one, they're shorts, by the way. I feel like I'm just like a dad right now, but a cool dad. I think. Hey. I said I think. Hey. The fact that, like, I'm like by myself and I'm literally just like talking to myself. I'm talking to you guys. Talking to you guys. I'm actually having a lot of fun because normally when I bake, I'm like by myself, like usually just listen to music or whatever. But like, I'm enjoying this. I'm hoping that you guys are enjoying this too. And if you guys want me to do more stuff like this, then that we'll do that. Because I mean, I know we have a lot of breaks in between content, like as a channel, but like sometimes, I mean, I bake a lot. Like I bake a lot, I cook a lot, so like we can just do a segment like cooking with Lynn / baking with Lynn, and in between when I have like my other people here with me, that's what we could do. If you guys like it. If not, I'll probably still post them because I have a lot of fun doing it. So. Okay, time to make frosting. So I don't really go by a recipe. I saw a couple recipes and I was like, okay, I don't really need a recipe for this. But if you guys want to follow a recipe, this is what I do. So I do, which I always make extra because the frosting is my favorite part. Frosting is my favorite part when it's made correctly. I don't like a super dense frosting. So we're going to do 3 sticks of unsalted butter. The reason why I had 3 extras is because I've had a couple instances where I walked away when I was whipping it. When I was whipping the butter and heavy cream together, and the heavy cream turned into butter. And so it gets all clunky. It turns into cottage cheese texture. You don't want that for a nice light frosting. So we need our whisk attachment. Oh, I just pinched my finger. But anyways, you're going to whip this on quite a high speed to make like until the butter goes from like the yellowish color that it is to like a whitish color on like a 5, 7, on a 7. All right, we're going to turn it up because it's starting to get like whipped, but we need it to be like super whipped. So we're gonna turn it up to like a 10. See, that's kind of like getting where we need it to be. Except for we need to scrape the edges and we need to put it in some more. Because the thing is, if you add the heavy cream too soon, then it does what you don't want it to do. So you want to make sure the butter is like extra whipped. Perfect. Also, the cupcakes are just about, see, where it almost kind of looks like frosting. That's butter. Don't actually fucking eat it. I want to focus. But anyways, so this is when you want to add in the heavy cream. But we're gonna take out the cupcakes first. Well, that's certainly fucking not right. Ah! Oh, almost. There we go. We're back in your mirror. Okay. So we're gonna take the cupcakes out. And I'm not bringing that camera all the way over there. I'm just gonna use my phone. So let's see. Yes, you want it to come out clean but smooth because you don't want them to be underdone or overdone. Oh yeah, those are perfect. This is the difficult part because you almost burn your finger every time. Okay? So listen up, pay attention, it's gonna hurt. All right, grab one of these or something else, or something else that you could put them on. Bring your cupcakes open. This is what I do. I mean, nobody, you don't have to do it this way. I take my little spatula guy and I transfer them over to this wooden cutting board and really try hard not to burn my finger. But I often do. So if you do, that's fine. We're not professionals here, you know? We're just average Joe Schmoes making some fucking cupcakes, bud. So you don't gotta worry about that. If you burn your finger, you burn your finger. Because these are fresh out the oven. But the thing is you want to get them out of the heat of the pan. Otherwise, as they cool, if they cool in the pan, they will overcook. Next! Usually a full 24 will fit on this, so I should be able to fit all these on. Oh, they're getting bad. Yes. Okay. Into the fridge. Put them in the fridge. Get this guy out the fucking way. Because it's frosting time. Heavy cream. It'd be whipping cream. Sweeter. It's like right all up in my face. Anyways. So. Open. Also shake this just in case there's any separation or anything. 4 cups, I believe. Hang on. This is the way to tell. Because we're going to use all of it anyway. Probably half for half. Yes. I'm smart. That's what's up. So we're going to add little by little whilst this is mixing. Okay. But you want to be careful because you want it to whip. But as you're pouring, you don't want it on a high speed because obviously it's liquid and it'll splatter. So we're going to add cup by cup or maybe like half cup by half cup at a time on a low speed. And then once we have a full 2 cups in here, we're going to turn up this way. And it's going to look kind of gross at first, but you got to give it a minute like to mix. Because as long as you whipped that butter correctly and for the proper amount of time before adding the whipping cream, everything should be fine. It'll look a little bit like cottage cheese at first, but just keep whipping it and let it go for like a couple minutes on high speed. And if it doesn't get better, restart. Got me in the eyeball. All right, see how it looks a little icky right now? It's gonna look that way for a second. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna scrape it down, scrape it down. But it's looking good. It's coming together now. It's just because obviously the whipping cream has to whip. But I've kind of noticed that you have to like take it and scoop it off the sides and stuff. But I don't know if there's a better way that you don't have to do that. I've just found that this way works for me is I just will scoop it off the sides and then I will put it back on a high speed because the heavy whipping cream wants to stay at the bottom, obviously. So There we go. I just got burned by that steam. I just burnt my thumb on the steam from that popcorn. Anyways, it's starting to look like what we need it to look like, but not quite there. But don't worry, Sonny. One more stir, because the thing is, you got to bring the whipping cream in with the. I really, really got myself. A little bit more. Oh no, we're good. We're good. We're good. Never been so hurt by a fucking bag of popcorn before. I'm gonna whip it for a little bit more. Just a little bit, but not much because you don't want to overdo it. But I think I put too much too fast of the whipping cream. So that's my bad. Yeah. There we go. That's what you want is when it starts grabbing onto it and it starts fluffing up together. My thumb fucking hurts. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do with this one is we're going to make chocolate frosting. Can't believe I did that shit. I really can't. I was like, oh, let me just hold the fucking popcorn bag and like open it right directly over the fucking steam. Yeah, that makes fucking sense, Linda. All right. Now, somebody with this dumb. Anyways, now we take the powdered sugar. Now that it looks like that, I'm just gonna fucking hold this. I'm just gonna hold it. I'm gonna do everything one-handed. So I don't do like a super chocolatey chocolate frosting because like my cupcakes are pretty chocolatey. But you're gonna add like a third of a cup plus another half of that scoop into this. And then very lightly mix. Very lightly mix. All right, now we're gonna give it a try. Give it a try. But mix it some out. I did another like half. So 2/3. 2/3 of the sugar. Never want to use the same end. I'm going to use the bottom. That's good. Okay. Now we're going to do it all over again for peanut butter frosting. But first, we're going to take this out. I got to get a bowl. My fingers hurts. Okay. Okay. All right. So we're going to scoop this out into this bowl so we can start making the peanut butter frosting and put it over there. Tinfoil it is. Okay. Now we got to do that whole process again. Now that these butters are like butters. Now that the butters are room temperature and not melted anymore. Because what we're going to do is we're also going to be making not only a peanut butter frosting, but we're going to do a peanut butter whipped cream. Sometimes I have to like remind myself that like this is just butter until I add like the fucking heavy cream and stuff because I'm like, oh, that looks really good. I could try that. And I've done it a couple of times where like I've even with like the whipped cream when it's like whipping and everything, I have tried it prior to me adding the sugar. Not good. All right, now it's time to add the heavy whipping cream. There, why I still got my microwave open? Heavy whipping cream, very slowly. To this, I'm gonna do it even slower. Like I'm gonna do it and then pour it, and What? All right, this one's going so much better. I don't want to jinx myself though. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. No, I'm not a singer, guys. Because if need be, I can fold more peanut butter in. Actually, why not? You really should make sure you have like the right amount of peanut butter. I have never made peanut butter frosting before. So it's kind of, we're experiencing this for the first time together. I do have more butter and more whipping cream if this doesn't go well. Because I think I might, that last little bit of whipping cream that I added, I think I added it too much too fast. But we'll see. Alright. Medium heat. I mean, speed. High speed. Speed up. Really need help. I think mental health, probably. Going on full speed. Full speed. You're not fucking telling me. The fucking strip fried this motherfucking rice. Don't do that. Don't open it when the fucking thing's still going. All right, we're gonna put the rest of this back in here. All right. Perfect. We're gonna do one and mix. 1/3 cup. One third. What? All right, we're just gonna do another half. That's because it's a little bit, a little bit, a little bit on the peanut buttery side, but it's peanut butter frosting. What do you want? What do you want? Yep. Yup. That is like the lightest frosting I've ever seen in my life. All right. Wait. For somebody that's never made peanut butter frosting, that's right, son. Where'd I put my tinfoil? I've never done this before either. So, what we're gonna do is get our other thing of heavy whipping cream. Oh, I almost threw that away. Why? We're not gonna use all this. Use half. Okay? Half. But we're gonna whip this peanut butter first. Sure. But I'm guessing it's probably about, I'd say half a cup.
Hey guys, so I totally didn't realize that my mic wasn't working, and so here we have me making the peanut butter whipped cream to go inside of the peanut butter cupcakes, and then it mixes up, and I had no idea that my mic wasn't on at all. All throughout the video, I kept hitting the button, and this time I didn't realize. Look at that transition, though. That was actually a pretty good transition that I just did. So this is a frosting tool that I use every time I make cupcakes because I am not very good with a frosting bag. This is my dog Forrest. He came over to say hi to me when I was recording making cupcakes. And it was right after right before he had like tried to trip me by laying behind my legs. So this is me frosting the chocolate cupcakes very fastly, and then I made the little inserts for the peanut butter frosting. I only did a couple of the chocolate cupcakes because more people wanted the peanut butter one. So this is me hollowing out the inside of the chocolate cupcakes for the peanut butter filling. And as you see, that's the peanut butter filling. And then there's me frosting the peanut butter cupcakes. And then we were done, and I was very proud, still not realizing that my mic wasn't on. And even for somebody that doesn't really like peanut butter frosting, that peanut butter frosting came out really good, as you see me talking about it there. And here's me trying to get the right thumbnail.
What the fuck? Okay. So that's been me making and baking peanut butter and chocolate cupcakes. So I really hope that you enjoyed and that you could follow along. If you could follow along, comment and let me know if you tried to make my recipe. I will post the recipe in the caption like description. I will put the exact recipe with the exact measurements of everything. I'm sorry if it was a little chaotic because with the frosting especially, I just kind of wing it. I don't go by an exact recipe, but they all came out really well. And yeah, so expect more content like this when like in between our videos that we all have together. And I hope that you guys like this. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Later. See you later, alligators.
Your girl wanna get him, like why you hating? Money comes and money goes, people friends and people foe. I got enemies up top and I got enemies below. People fake and people foe, gotta watch behind your nose. Because everything that's up eventually be six below. Tryna get in my way, I live this life all on my own. Talk behind my back and get your ass back through the back door. So many people from past that just come back and just want more. I don't got time for that, I can't backtrack, I gotta move on.